Welcome back to my series, Dance Moms Unedited. This is the series where I discuss production notes that were written by the producers of Dance Moms. These notes show us what happened behind the scenes of particular episodes. Today we're looking at Season 6, Episode 2. As always, there will be a link in the description box below which will take you to a PDF of these notes, so you can read through them in further detail. Because there was more to this episode than the producers cared to show. The week begins with Abby getting her hair and makeup done. She steps away for a second to FaceTime Maddie. The notes don't explain why, but apparently a news reporter shows up outside of the ALDC. The rest of the ALDC team then arrives, and the girls begin to stretch. Jojo tells the girls that at least with Maddie gone, everyone else will be able to have lead roles and solos. The mums meanwhile discuss the BDA drama from last week, claiming that they made fools out of themselves. Ashley declares confidently that Bryn is Maddie's replacement, causing the other mums to list reasons as to why this isn't the case. Abby is late to Pyramid, so production sends Melissa and Jill to go get her from her apartment in the back of the studio. In Pyramid, Abby says that the whole rule-breaking accusation infuriated her. She then begins talking about minis, saying that they are moldable and follow Abby's every word. She hints that soon she will start over and begin training minis again. Holly asks if this is Abby's way of calling their kids washed up. Before revealing the pyramid, Abby criticises Kenzie for not standing tall enough. She reveals that on the bottom of the pyramid this week is Maddie for her continued absence. She is followed by Kalani, Mackenzie, Kendall, Nia and Jojo. Bryn is placed on top for her win last week. Abby tells the room that the mums have been vying for their daughter to be Abby's number 2 girl. She goes on to assign Kendall, Mackenzie and Nia solos. From these notes, it's difficult to tell which of the mums she is referring to, but given that this plot point, along with Kenzie and Kendall's solo assignments, were all highlighted in the same colour, I would bet it was Jill and Melissa. The episode itself seems to confirm this. The real question is, why wouldn't Kalani, Nia, or even Jojo be considered? Hungry Like the Wolves is announced as this week's group dance, and Gianna brings wolf masks into the studio. The mums then go to the bleachers and question why Abby would put together a team of minis. Holly points out that when their girls were minis, they couldn't learn routines in 2 days, so the minis will take up a ton of Abby's time. Apparently the mini classes at the ALDCLA are booming, so the mums think that Abby will have no trouble choosing some of them for her team. They then discuss the moratorium, and both Holly and Melissa say that going against Abby's wishes was the best decision that they made for their daughters' careers. Jess adds that there has been a huge drop lately in the number of other teams competing at Dance Moms competitions because of Abby's erratic behaviour. The following day, when the mums arrive at the studio, they discuss the fact that Abby's criminal accusations are saturating the media. They watch a Good Morning America article, which states that Abby is facing 5 years in prison and $5 million in fines. Jill shows sympathy to Abby and what this kind of press will do to her name, business and brand. Jess points out that their kids are now closely connected to an alleged federal criminal. Holly says that this could taint the kids' reputations. Jill then FaceTimes Kendall's grandmother, telling her about Kendall's solo, where she'll be transformed into an old woman using makeup. Apparently, her grandmother is the inspiration for her look. Kendall's grandmother tells Jill that Abby's legal troubles were on Good Morning America and advises Jill not to mention them to Abby. Holly makes a comment that the girls are hungry for a win and have been putting extra work in. Abby overhears her and barks at Holly that the girls should have been hungry during the break so that they could show more improvement. As she leaves, the mums speculate that Abby is ignoring her personal life this week, instead putting her all into the dances. They note that Abby is even up and on her feet during rehearsals. Holly then gives Melissa kudos for standing up for Kenzie in Pyramid. Melissa rants that Mackenzie has improved a lot, but she can't understand why Abby wants her to be a leader when she's the youngest on the team. Ashley doesn't think it's fair for Kenzie to live in Maddie's shadow, saying it would be nice for her to just be Mackenzie. Then Ashley bashes Kira, claiming that she is so desperate to be on the team that she even had her mole removed. Several cast members have claimed over the years that production told Kira that in order to stay on the show, she needed to remove her mole. It's insane that they asked her to do this, and just as insane that Kira agreed to do it.
I never told her to remove her mole.
Okay.
They just had a car
Great.
pick her up and take her to the
I had
doctor.
someone else tell her.
Okay.
Jess begins to gloat that she is happy that her child isn't managed by Abby, asking the other mums how Abby could possibly manage anyone from prison. Kendall and Jill have a pep talk, and Jill tells her daughter that she needs to be a leader. Right after this, Nia and Holly have a pep talk, and Holly tells her daughter to be more of a leader too. As rehearsals wrap up, Abby has all the girls recall the corrections that she gave to them. Then Abby realises that she didn't have to correct Bryn a single time in rehearsals. But she thinks that Mackenzie, on the other hand, is lazy because she can't remember her corrections. Ashley declares to the mums that she and Bryn are here so that Bryn can replace Maddie. Jess and Ashley begin to bicker about why Jess isn't more welcoming to new team members. Jill says that Kendall has always been Abby's number 2, but Jess argues that Kendall can't handle the pressure, as evident in her meltdown last week. Abby works on Kenzie's solo first. They work together for 40 minutes, with Abby constantly reminding Kenzie of how much faster Maddie learns her solos. She reminds Mackenzie of the name of her dance. Mackenzie corrects Abby on the name, which infuriates her. She calls her names, and Mackenzie exits the studio in tears. Melissa storms in and asks Abby why she's so harsh on Kenzie. Abby then pulls Kenzie into the tumble track room to show Melissa that she is lacking in improvement. Melissa claims that she's now defending Kenzie because she feels as though Abby doesn't care about her anymore. She goes back to the mums and continues to cry that Abby hates her daughter. Abby is absent for the majority of Nia's solo rehearsal. For Kendall's rehearsal, however, she is present and invites Jill into the studio to discuss why Kendall works so hard in rehearsals but is much weaker when it comes to performing on stage. The next day, the mums are frustrated that the solos are unfinished. Jill is especially worried because Kendall hates her story, and it seems like the story is an underlying dig. Ashley asks Jill why she waits around for Abby to do something for Kendall's career, and Jill says it's because she's so loyal to Abby. Jess quips that if Abby made any money from managing Kendall, she wouldn't put it in the bank anyway. When Abby arrives, Ashley asks her about her legal issues, and Abby immediately shuts it down. The mums say that Abby has burned so many bridges in the past that the public won't be sympathetic towards her. Ashley once again claims that Bryn has stepped in for Maddie as the number 1 dancer on the team, and she claims that the other girls don't even seem to want it. Melissa says that no one needs to step into the spot because Maddie is coming back. Abby has Kendall work with a special effects makeup artist to make her seem older, like her grandmother. Kendall hates the makeup, but Abby argues that it will get her into character. Jill reassures her that it is good for Kendall to not always be the pretty girl, because having range is important. Holly is very unimpressed when Abby tries to put twerking into Nia's choreography, saying that Kendall's solo has the potential to win, but so far, Nia's doesn't. Jess then mentions an opportunity she found for JoJo with Nickelodeon, and the mums question whether or not she has Abby's approval due to the moratorium on activities outside of dance. Jess says that Abby has no control in what the girls do outside of the studio. Holly agrees, pointing out that the Zieglers have been booking work non-stop, despite the moratorium. The ALDC arrives at the competition to find that there are fans wearing shirts that say #FreeAbbyLee. In the green room, Jill demands to know if Kendall's solo is a punishment for crying last week, even though Mackenzie and JoJo also cried recently. Abby simply says that she doesn't want Kendall to rely on her looks to get acting roles. Jill and Abby then begin to discuss Kendall's music, and Abby claims that Kendall's next single is ready to be released, but she's waiting for the right timing. Jess asks how Abby will have the time for their kids if they bring in a mini-team. Abby doesn't seem worried about it, but just demands that she doesn't give the older kids the sloppy seconds of her time and attention. Jill leaves the room to check on Kendall's makeup to find her having a meltdown. She wants to take the makeup off because she doesn't want to go on stage looking ugly. Jill storms back into the green room, announcing that she is done with watching Kendall be humiliated. She says that no other mum would allow their daughter to go on stage looking like that. Kendall enters the green room and tries to get ready. Jess and JoJo tell her that JoJo had it far worse because she had to dance in pig's blood. Eventually, Kendall can't take it anymore and begins to take off the makeup. Abby claimed at the time on social media that Kendall had an allergic reaction to the makeup she was wearing, and that's why they took it off. I wonder if this was Abby trying to make Kendall look better. But honestly, regardless of the reasons for taking it off, I think Kendall's reaction here isn't bratty. When you're a teenager, the thought of being or looking old is terrifying and confronting. If she was distressed by wearing this makeup on national television, she shouldn't have been forced to wear it. When the soloists perform, they receive live critiques. The judges love Kenzie's energy and the use of her prop. They tell Kendall to show more darkness in her routine. Nia is told that she needs to attack her moves and be more in tune with the music. In the dressing room, Holly expresses frustration that Nia's solo was not at the level of the other teen solos, saying that Nia is capable of much more. The mums tell Jill how shocked they were that Abby let Kendall remove her makeup. Jess thinks that Abby will do whatever it takes to keep Jill on her side, because now she's all that she has. Ashley keeps asking about Kendall's music career, causing Jill to snap that Bryn will soon be sent home. The girls then perform the group dance, and the notes specify that Kendall made a mistake near the beginning of the routine. At awards, Mackenzie comes in 4th place. Kendall is 3rd, Nia is 2nd, and the ALDC group wins 1st in the senior group division and 2nd place overall. The show makes it seem like the group dance didn't place at all in the overalls by only showing the announcement of 1st place overall. It's horrible that production would take away their divisional win and try to make the group seem like a disappointment. Back in the green room, Abby scolds her dancers for not winning 1st place. She asks the soloists why Bryn could do it but they couldn't. She tells everyone that according to the score sheets, Kendall received the highest score today. Abby then declares that all the girls were given choreography that they could do. Holly retorts that Nia is capable of much more, and even Kenzie says that her routine was too young for her. Abby then gives Kendall a solo for next week, demanding that she doesn't have any more dramas. The team FaceTimes Maddie, and Abby declares that Maddie will get a solo the week that she returns. The week concludes with Jill assuring Abby that her team is supporting her. And with that, we've reached the end of episode 2. What do you think about all the solo drama and the fights over which girl is second in Abby's eyes? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!